class. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Mrs. Schumann. And this is 6th grade English. Today, we're doing a unit on poetry. Who here likes poetry?
I like it.
Yes. You like it?
I like it.
But I don't know. You're going to like it even more after today's lesson.
Yes.
Because today, we're doing something special. Blackout poetry. What's that?
That's so scary.
Blackout poetry, well, let's start with breaking down what poetry is. It's an abstract way of storytelling. Am I right? You guys all agree? Then, when it comes to blackout poetry, it basically just means you're putting a line through something and you're making your own poem using someone else's basic work. You guys
Yay!
wanna
That's awesome.
okay. Any input? You guys interested?
Yes.
That be awesome?
Sure.
You guys excited?
Yes.
Good. Today's gonna be fun. Okay, so I have several different poems. I printed out 2 copies, one for you to work on, the other to look back on, because you're gonna be crossing words out. I'm giving you The Burdens by Stephen Sexton, Come Back by Rocket Kalashu, Dead Men Walking by William Logan.
That's so scary.
The same goes for you.
I'm scared. It's great. I'm a baby.
And then you all will be working independently. Self-Portrait as So Much Potential by Chen Chen. And then Life in a Love by Robert Browning. Actually, I'm going to give you your own Housekeeping by Natasha Trey. Okay, so before you start, I actually have an example. So I underlined on my copy that I'm not going to black out anything, what I'm going to work with. So you're going to make your own poem. You're going to take several words. It doesn't have to be long. It can be all the men. It could be that easy. Or it could be like a few words from each line. It's up to you. You're making your own poem. It just needs to make sense by itself. So what I did was on my practice copy, I underlined what I was going to keep so I didn't accidentally black out anything. So for example, Come Back by Rocket Kalashu. Who else has that? I've passed it around someone. You're not going to copy me, okay?
No.
But I gave an example for you. So I wrote, hate being made extant, flying up around the corner, this dissolution in the pool of no single thing, this break in the entity, a mistake in being made, suffering, contain this refusal from its mass. Only in your presence, this inability of my broken image, permission to submerge, infinite allowances, cataloging that which can never be disappeared. I got rid of a lot of text. The original was, I hate how I can't keep this tremor inside, this mute matter of being made extant, this shiver in being, in no not being, this wild flying out from the inner surge, and this crack in the apparatus sepsied around the corner from my particular warble, this quiver of dissolution in the pool of no single thing, this break in the entity of the single, of not a mistake in being made, this suffering of trying to contain the infinite in language, this refusal, inextricable from its mass, this love of love, this being only in your presence, this inability now to err, rather the constitution of my broken image, caressed by this permission to submerge, this bigger and bigger being, tremor of infinite allowances, this telos of cataloging that which can never be disappeared. So I got rid of a lot, and I created my own entity, basically. So now, in my other copy, I'm going to cross out anything I didn't underline. That way it's blacked out. Blackout poetry. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna come around in a few minutes to check on you all and begin.
I have a question.
Yes?
Can we black out like parts of a word?
Yeah. So if we want to keep like certain letters
It's your
or
call.
certain parts, okay. You're making it your own. You can do whatever you want.
Do we underline first or we cross out first?
It's easier to underline. That way in the other copy you know what to black out. But you can do it however you want. It's your copy. That's just what I recommend. Make sure you actually complete it, because when we're done, you're going to present the original copy and then the blackout copy. Good work. Everyone understands it? When you're done, to let me know, put your head down and your thumb up. Do you understand?
Yes.
Remember, when you're done, head down, thumb up. You guys are sixth graders now. You should be capable of doing such a thing. That's what they taught you in fifth grade. Thank you, Shanaira. Are you guys having fun?
Kind of.
Take your time. There's no rush. Make a poem that you're satisfied with. And remember, it makes sense by itself as its own entity.
Uh-oh.
You can revise. And I have an extra copy if you want to start over. You want to start over?
That was fun.
It just needs to make sense. You guys are all doing a really good job. I like all the crossing out, all the circling. If you have a clean copy, it's easier to just do it there. Yeah. So just scribble through it, the stuff that you're not keeping. Or however you want to know how to identify it. Good job, Shania.
Am I doing it right?
You're doing a really good job. You're welcome. Do you know what you're going to do? I'm gonna give you guys about 3 more minutes before we start presenting. Is that a good time for everyone?
Yes.
Then
Done. Mine turned out kind of scary.
it's okay. I wonder how scary.
We'll find out.
It's about housekeeping.
I don't even understand mine.
Good. It's poetry. It's abstract. It's supposed to be deep, but only makes sense to some people. And it just may not be the author.
Yeah.
Something important to learn. Okay, and when you guys are done, I want you to cross out the name and the title of the poem, create your own, and put your name on it. It's your poem. Own it. This is a segue into the next lesson, which is death of the author, which basically means that the author doesn't matter. It's just a random name. It doesn't matter what they thought. We will use their piece. So this is a nice segue into it. A nice demonstration.
Can we change the title?
Yep. Anything you want. You can keep part of it, change another part.
What if
So
you
what?
use one of the words of the title?
This is
as
mine.
part of it?
That's what we do. You can keep it the same if you even want to. Just make sure your name's on it.
Well, the poetry is called I Don't Know. I Don't Know.
Good.
By MDLR.
Okay, so hands up when you're done, rather than heads down. Take your time.
Can I go first?
When she's done. We're gonna go this way.
Yay. Was that a first grade joke or is it?
Okay, everyone's done?
Yes. Oh, no.
While she's still working, let's have Shania start. Present your name and the title.
Are we standing up there? On the, or-
Yes, you can stand up here. And then after, I'm gonna ask you why you made those changes.
Oh,
So keep that in mind, all of it.
okay,
It doesn't have to be that deep.
okay. Hello, I'm Shania Johnson. My poem is called Horse Turned Goat. Before any of it, a horse appeared to pay the country doctor. Not now and not then. We drive home. She is radioactive. Little goat, forgive me. I shouldn't do this. It's a tragedy. Instead, let's just say a ship arrived one day, over the hills after all this time, and found us.
Okay, now I want you to read the original,
Oh.
if you can.
This one, right?
Before any of it, a goat appeared. In a piebald sweater, beardless, and the tether at the collar, on half a tennis court of land, up a rutted land above the road. Doubtless, a horse once clip-clopped there, before a trap, a whip, a tweeter farmer, with bushels and crates of cabbages, corn chips, blue ducks to pay the country doctor. Not now, and not then. We drive home between the fields. She is radioactive, or lately was, and sleeps on the doses of nitrogen mustard a country doctor has called for. Little goat, forgive me. I shouldn't do this. All you do is munch your potsy plain of grass, your kingdom for a caper. If at night you sing your tired chant to sleep, it's not a metaphor. It's a tragedy. Instead, let's say it should arrive one day. Let's say its decks were delicate, polished oak. Let's say happy impossible wind steered it. Let's say the captain, sweeping his spyglass over the hills after all this time, found us.
You made a lot of changes, good job.
Yes.
Why did you make those changes?
Because the original poem confused me, so I just remixed it.
Exactly, that's what you should do. That's the entire point of blackout poetry. You're getting rid of what you don't deem important or confusing, and you're making it your own. Okay. So you can do either order.
The first one, well, come back. That's the original. I hate how I can't keep this tremor inside, this mute matter of being made extent, this shiver in being, in no not being, this wild flying off from the inner surge, and this crack in the apparatus spied around the corner from my particular warble, this quiver of disillusion in the pool of no single thing, this break in the entity of the single of not a mistake in being made, this suffering of trying to contain the infinite in language, this refusal inextricable from its mass, this love of love, this being only in your presence, this inability not to err, rather the constitution of my broken image, caressed by this permission to submerge, this bigger and bigger being, tremor of infinite allowances, this tellus of cataloging that which can never be disappeared. Okay, so I changed it to I don't know.
That's a good title.
I can keep this tremor inside, this mute matter made extant, this wild flying up, and this crack around the corner from my particular warble, this quiver of dissolution of no single thing, this break the single of a mistake being made, this suffering trying to contain language, this refusal inextricable, love of love, only in your presence, this inability to err, not to err, my broken image caressed by this permission, this bigger and bigger being, tremor of infinite allowances, this can never be disappeared.
So why'd you title it?
Because it was confusing.
Good.
So a lot of
That's a good
big
idea.
words. Big words.
That is true. Good job. Okay.
1 minute till 20 minutes.
I'm gonna read the original. Dead Men Walking by William Logan. What did they desire? The dead who had returned. The sons who had inherited their estates pretended not to know them. The iron gates were welded shut, but soon the dead had learned to hire lawyers practicing the laws that bound the afterlife to lesser gods. The angels thundered on like pistons rods, denying their gold wings to their cause. The city street lamps flared like learned ghosts. The moon turned red beneath a scrim of clouds. Spanish moss draped the myrtle trees like shrouds. In politics, the guests became the hosts. Those days made angels of the better sort. The cases languish in a lower court. The updated version. Fun joking place. Yvette Velez. What did they prolong? The joker who graduated from clown school. The sons who had inherited all the money acted not to know them. The wooden fence were tied, but soon the joker understood his calling to get doctors to practice in the hospital that bound the afterlife to lesser gods. The motorcycle motor and like piston rods, denying the nosy loud to either cause. The city land candlelights like learned ghosts. The moon turned red beneath a scream of clouds. Spanish moss draped the willow trees like shrouds. And religion became the hosts. Those days made clowns of a better sort. The cases languished in a crazy house.
Good job. Why did you title it that?
I guess because I went with the Joker, Crazy House Hospital.
That makes
and-
sense. Good job. That was very creative. Nice.
I'll read the originals. Housekeeping by Natasha Trethewey. We mourn the broken things, chair legs wrenched from their seats, chipped plates, the threadbare clothes. We work magic of glue, drive the nails, mend the holes. We save what we can, melt small pieces of soap, gather fallen pecans, keep neck bones for soup. Beating rugs against the house, we watch dust lit like stars spreading across the yard. Late afternoon, we draw the blinds to cool the rooms, drive the bugs out. My mother irons, singing Lost in Revere. I mark the pages, mail order catalog, listen for passing cars. All day, we watch for the mail, some news from a distant place.
So what did you?
And then this is my version. It's called Neck Bone Soup by Joe Hernandez. We mourn the broken chair legs, French bare magic of glue. We melt fallen neck bones for soup. Against the house, we watch stars across the rooms. My mother sings Lost in Revere all day.
That was very creative and it was dark, as we promised. I liked it. So why did you go in that direction?
Because I'm scared of scary things.
So then you used something scary.
Yeah,
That makes
so I could
sense.
overcome my fear.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, next.
Self-portrait has so much potential. Dreaming of one day being as fearless as a mango, as friendly as a tomato, merciless to chin and shirt front. Realizing that I hate the word sip, but that's all I do. I drink so slowly and say I'm tasting it when I'm just bad at taking in liquid. I'm no mango or tomato. I'm a rusty John in a rumored year. I'm an Arctic addict. Come in ample and ampersand in their slippery color clutter. And I'm not the heterosexual neat freak my mother raised me to be. I'm a gay cipher. And my mother has placed what's left of her hope on my brothers. She wants them to go up the world and seek out solid degrees. Responsible grandchildren ready to gobble. They will be better than mangoes, my brothers. But I have trouble imagining what that could be. Flying mangoes, perhaps. Flying mango tomato hybrids. Beautiful sons.
Good job.
Okay, so my version is called Broccoli and Spinach. Dreaming of a day being as fearless as a broccoli, as friendly as a spinach, merciless to chin and shirt front. Realizing I love the word eat, but that's all I do. I eat so fast, and I'm tasting it, when I'm just good at taking in food. I'm no broccoli or spinach, I'm just a rusty barn in a rumored month. I'm an Arctic addict. Come April and ampersand in the slippery polar clutter. I am a heterosexual neat freak my father raised me to be. I'm a straight cipher and my father has left of him hope of my sisters. He wants them to go up the world complete solid degrees, have responsible grandchildren ready to go. I will be better than broccoli, my sister. I'm sorry, they will be better than broccoli, my sisters. I thought I had no trouble imagining what they could be. Flying broccoli, perhaps. Flying broccoli spinach hybrids. Beautiful sisters.
Good job. So why'd you call it broccoli and spinach?
Because I'm trying to eat healthier.
Oh,
so I'm
me
eating-
too.
that's
So
what
we
I'm
explain
eating.
to your learning and then laugh. You can just read your changes.
I wrote, love, morning, love as morning rain will make the roses bloom, though wine men fall rapidly, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. Though death at times steps in, though sorrow seeks to win, hope again. Though she fell, her golden wings bear fearlessly, victoriously despair.
Good job. Why'd you make those changes?
Because it is shorter. It's happening.
That makes sense. I hope you guys got a lot out of Blackout Poetry and why it's important. It makes you creative and interested in poetry, am I right? You just got a better understanding.
Yes.
You became a poet just by walking into this classroom. Thank you for taking the time for my lesson.